Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start the genetics. So actually, I have to start from the sex determination onwards, but it is getting delayed. So I'm starting today itself only. So we'll complete this chapter. It takes nearly 10 classes to complete this one. So I want to complete as soon as possible. And after completion of this one, again we'll go for the coaching. Right. So before going into the topic, I want to give you some basic information to make you to understand this one, right? The term genetics was coined by Bateson. Okay, study of genetics. So that means genetics means it is a study of heredity and variations. The study of heredity and variation is called as genetics. Then what is meant by heredity? Heredity means it is the inheritance of characters, or it is the transfer of characters from one generation to the next generation, or transfer of characters from parents to offspring. We also can say like that. So variations, minor changes that occurs among individuals. For example, you can take a father and a son, right? So the we can see some minor changes in between them. So we also call that one as variations, right? Now let us see here. He is a Mendel. Mendel is considered as father of genetics. Okay, and father of modern genetics was T.H. Morgan, and father of human genetics was Archibald Garrod. Archibald Garrod was the father of human genetics. So these are some of the important things only to remember this one, right? Then if we see the important terms, important terminology here. So let us go for the important terminology before going into the topic. So what is meant by L? Allele means it is nothing but it is an alternative form of a gene. Okay, alternative form of a gene is called as allele. For example, you have taken the character height. If you take the character height, so there are two characters. You take the height as the character. We can say that one is tall and one is short. Tall is represented as by capital T, and as dwarf is represented by small t. Right? This capital T and small t are the alternative forms of the allele, alternative forms of the gene for height. Okay, so that is meant by allele. So allele means nothing but it is an alternative form of a gene, right? Then we see the homozygous. Homozygous means the condition in which chromosome pair carries similar alleles of a gene. So these are the two chromosomes. These two chromosomes are homologous chromosomes. That is, they are similar in shape, size, and structure. But these two chromosomes are carrying the same alleles on the gene locus. If you see here, this is the gene locus, right? So they are carrying the alleles on the same gene locus. So that is a capital B and capital B. So they are called as homozygous. So these two are homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes means the chromosomes which are similar in size, shape, and structure. So we have taken examples as capital T, small t, capital Y, small y, small y. These are homozygous in nature. Then what is meant by heterozygous? Heterozygous means the condition in which the chromosome pair carries dissimilar alleles of a gene. So we have taken here capital T, capital Y, small y. Again, we can see here, these are the same homologous chromosomes. At this gene locus, it is carrying capital B. Instead of capital B, you can use capital T also, right? And in the same gene locus, it is carrying small t. So we call this one as heterozygous, right? Heterozygous tall. We can use the word heterozygous tall, right? So that is the differences between the alleles, homozygous and heterozygous. Okay, so these are the important terminologies because we have to use these terminologies in upcoming chapters, right? Let us go for some important terms also. So here I have taken dominant character. Okay, so what is meant by dominant character? The character which is expressed in heterozygous condition The character which is expressed in heterozygous condition is called as dominant character. For example, you have taken the height as a character. In the height, tall is dominant and dwarf is recessive. Tall is represented as capital T and dwarf is represented as small t. So the character which is expressed in heterozygous condition, this is heterozygous condition. In this heterozygous condition, which character is expressed means this one is expressed. Okay, the character which is expressed in heterozygous condition is represented by capital T letter. Then what is recessive character? The character which is suppressed in heterozygous condition, it indicates with small letter. Heterozygous means what? We are crossing a tall plant with dwarf plant. Okay, we are crossing a tall plant with dwarf. Dwarf means short. So tall plant and short plant, when they are crossed in F1 generation, only tall plants are seen and dwarf plants are not at all seen. So in heterozygous condition, only the dominant character is expressed and recessive character. This is the recessive character is suppressed. Then we call this one as recessive character. So in this capital T and small t in heterozygous condition, this is not expressed. Okay, the dwarf condition is not expressed in the heterozygous condition. When the dwarf character is not expressed in the heterozygous condition, we call this one as a recessive character. Next one is phenotype. Phenotype means physical appearance of the character. That means the character which you are seeing with your naked eye. So I have taken the plant height as the character. If you see a tall character, tall plant, we say that one as tall character. That means the phenotype is tall. If you are seeing a short plant, we say that when the phenotype is short. Phenotype means nothing but it is the physical appearance of an organism or physical expression of a character is called as phenotype. Then genotype, genetic constitution of a character. So when we have seen a tall plant, so the genetic constitution might be capital T or small capital T, small t. So this is the genetic constitution. Okay, the genetic constitution or genetic composition of a character is called as genotype. Hybrid, an individual produced by mating genetically unlike parents. Genetically unlike parents means if you see here, this is the pure tall plant, then it is the pure dwarf plant. When we cross, we will get a tall plant, but this one is a hybrid because these two parents are genetically unlike. So when we cross a genetically unlike parents and produces an young individual, then that young individual is called as a hybrid, right? Okay, we'll go for the next one. Then we are seeing here the contrasting traits. Okay, so what is a trait? Trait means alternative form of a character. Like allele is an alternative form of a gene, but trait is an alternative form of a character. Characters are two. One is dominant character and recessive characters. These are called as traits. For example, we have taken here the Pisum sativum. Seed shape is round. Round is a dominant character and recessive. A wrinkled character is wrinkled is a recessive trait. Same here. Seed color yellow, green. Flower violet and white. Pod shape full and constricted. Pod color green, yellow. Flower position axial, terminal. Stem height tall, dwarf. So we have taken just now we have taken this one as an example and we explained till now these two we taken example to explain our terminology. So tall plant means capital T, dwarf plant means small t, and this one we are seeing. This one is the physical. This one is the phenotype. Okay, you understood this? This one is the phenotype of an organism. Okay, and this one is the phenotype of an organism and this one is the genotype of an organism. This one is the genotype of an organism, right? Let us see the scientists who use different things for experimental materials. Mendel used Pisum sativum, that is a garden pea plant. Th. Morgan used Drosophila melanogaster. Okay, and the Mendel's work were rediscovered by Correns, Schermark and Hugo de Vries. Okay, so when Mendel was doing the experiments, Mendel don't know about the genes. So Mendel used the word factors for the genes. So Mendel called the genes as factors. Now let's go for the next one, chromosomal theory. This is also very important for objective. So chromosomal theory was proposed by Sutton and Boveri. Okay. So generally if you see the genes, where the genes are present. Genes are generally present on the chromosome. How they are arranged? They are arranged in a linear manner. That means they are present one after the other like this. The genes are present in a linear fashion on the chromosome. How many genes are present in one chromosome? It means hundreds of genes are present on one chromosome. That means many genes are present on one chromosome. Then genes means what? Genes are the physical units of heredity. Okay, the hereditary characters are stored in the genes, and these genes are transferred from one generation to the next generation. So these genes are carried by chromosomes. So that is the reason why we call this one as chromosomes as the physical bearers of heredity. Chromosomes are called as physical bearers of heredity. So if we see the genes present on the same chromosome and they are inherited together. So I have written, did not write this word. If the genes are present on the same chromosome and if the genes are inherited together, then we call that one as linked genes. Linked genes means genes present on the same chromosome and they are inherited together. We call that one as linked genes. Then what about the chromosomal theory? This chromosomal theory was proposed by Sutton and Boveri, and chromosomal theory was verified, tested by T.H. Morgan. So very important questions. All these are for objective. Remember this one. Then if the number of genes are more than the number of chromosomes, I told you that one chromosome contains more than 100 genes or hundreds of genes. So T.H. Morgan conducted experiments on Drosophila melanogaster. So Drosophila is this one, the image you can see here, the Drosophila. So what you call the Drosophila? Drosophila is commonly called as a fruit fly. Okay, or Cinderella of genetics. It is called as fruit fly or Cinderella of genetics. Why it is called as Cinderella of genetics means because the fruit fly is having very short lifespan and produce can be grown in a small synthetic medium, and it shows many morphological variations. Okay, it is showing many morphological variations, so it is easy for the scientists to conduct experiments on the Drosophila. In Drosophila, the number of chromosomes are 8. So generally you know that there are two sets of chromosomes, one is autosomes and one is allosomes. Then if you see the karyotype, the male is having AAXY and female is having AAXX. That is 6 autosomes plus XY, 6 autosomes plus XX. So total number of chromosomes in Drosophila are 8. Then Morgan conducted experiment how linkage affects the inheritance. Okay, so he has taken two characters. One is the body color and one is the wing size. Trait 1 is having gray body color and trait 2 is having black. In wing size, trait 1 is having long wings and trait 2 is having vestigial wings. So here, if you see here, the dominant characters are represented by capital B, okay, or B plus or plus. So that is the dominant character. Recessive character is represented by small b. So based upon that, we'll conduct one cross. Let us go for this one. So cross, a gray body and long wing. So this one is a female, okay. And this one is the male. The female is having gray body and long wings, and the male is having a black body and vestigial wings. Already we indicated that gray is dominant and long wing is dominant. Black is recessive and vestigial wings are also recessive. So what is the genotype of this one? B plus B plus VG plus VG plus. Here BB VG VG. Then gametes are formed like this: B plus VG plus B VG. When we cross these two, B into B plus B plus, okay, this one VG plus VG. Okay, so B plus B, VG plus VG. So what is that one? This is the dominant character, right? B plus is a dominant character and long wing is also dominant character. So dominant characters are expressed in the F1 generation. This one is an F1 hybrid. So what is F1 hybrid? Grey body, long winged. So in F1 hybrid means in F1 generation only the dominant characters are expressed. So grey bodied and long winged. Let us see now the next cross how we are going to do. So F1 dihybrid female and crossed with vestigial winged black male. So this is the F1 dihybrid female. Okay, and this one is vestigial winged black male. So if you see dihybrid female genotype B plus B, VG plus VZ. Then F1 dihybrid female can produce how many types of gametes? B plus VG plus one gamete, B plus VZ one gamete, B VG plus one gamete, B VZ. That means 4 gametes it is producing. Then how many gametes it is produced, ma'am? Vestigial winged black male, only one type of gamete it can produce. But it can produce how many types? 4 types of gametes. So number of combinations, how many combinations we can get means number of combination depends upon the number of gametes. Remember that. Number of combination depends upon the number of gametes. So the female is having how many gametes now? 4 gametes, and the male is having only one gamete. Let us cross them now. So we have taken this Punnett square, simple one. So this one is the male and this one is the female. We are crossing them. So when we are crossing them, BVG into B plus VG plus. So here we will get B plus B, VG plus VZ. Similarly, BVZ into BVZ, BB, VZ, VZ. BVZ into BVG plus, BB, VG plus VZ. BVZ into B plus VZ, B plus B, VZ, VZ. So this character is gray, this is long, black, vestigial, black, long, gray, vestigial. So in this case, if we take the parental phenotypes are gray long. Okay, gray long is the parental phenotype, and black vestigial is also parental phenotype. So gray long and black vestigials are the parental phenotypes. Then what about the recombinant phenotypes? This is a recombinant and this is also recombinant. Then what is the percentage of parental phenotypes and recombinant phenotypes means? Percentage of parental phenotypes are 41.5% and 41.5%. Grey long are 41.5, black vestigial are 41.5, that is total 83%. Then what about the recombinant phenotypes? Recombinant phenotypes percentage is 17%. So black long is 8.5, grey vestigial is 8.5. These calculations are done by T.H. Morgan based on his experiment. So these are the calculations given by T.H. Morgan, not by me. Remember that. Right? These calculations were given by T.H. Morgan based upon his experiments. Right? So if you see in the case here, number of kinds of phenotypes are 4, number of kinds of genotypes are also 4. So parental phenotypes are more than recombinants. If you see here, parental phenotypes are how many phenotypes are there? 83% are female parental phenotypes. Recombinants are how many? Only 17%. So the genes for body color and wing are present on the same chromosome. So if the genes are present on the same chromosome and if they are inherited together, we call that type of genes as linked genes. Very important one. We call that type of genes as what? Linked genes. So this is very important. So same chromosome and inherited together. You have to use the word this one. Right, we go for the next one. Pleiotropy. What is meant by pleiotropy? Pleiotropy means multiple effect of a single gene. That means a single gene can control many phenotypes or many characters. Generally, we see one gene controls only one character or one gene controls only one phenotypes. But sometimes when a gene is activated at different locations or at different tissues, it produces multiple effects or multiple phenotypes. So example we have taken as phenylketonuria, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia. Let us see, I have taken one diagrammatic representation for sickle cell anemia. So let us see here. You can see here. So this is a single gene. This is the sickle cell anemia. Okay. Sickle cell anemia gene has undergone, the beta globin gene has undergone mutation. Due to mutation, this single gene is affecting many organs. So it affects the eye and causes the blindness. It affects the liver and causes the liver failure. It also affects the heart and causes heart attacks. Right? The single gene is showing multiple phenotypic effects. We call this one as pleiotropy. So very important. I hope you understood this one. This is the only one gene, but it's showing different types of phenotypic effects in different tissues. Okay, we call that one as what? Pleiotropy. Let us go for an example for pleiotropy, that is phenylketonuria. So generally we get phenylalanine through diet. Okay, phenylalanine through the diet. So when the phenylalanine is present in our diet and enters into our body, this phenylalanine, in the presence of phenylalanine converting enzyme or PAH enzyme, it is converted into tyrosine. Tyrosine is an amino acid, right? But phenylketonuria effects are seen in the people in whom this enzyme is absent. So if the PAH enzyme is absent, what is happening? Let us see. So phenylalanine, in the absence of PAH enzyme, it is converted into phenylpyruvic acid. Okay, instead of converting into tyrosine, it is converted into phenylpyruvic acid. So accumulation of phenylpyruvic acid in the body fluids causes what? Causes multiple effects like mental retardation, reduced skin pigmentation, reduced hair pigment. Right? So here phenylketonuria is due to absence of an enzyme called as PAH. That means the gene which synthesizes PAH has undergone mutation. The gene is absent in some people which synthesizes the PAH enzyme or which synthesizes the phenylalanine converting enzyme, or the gene present which converts which synthesizes phenylalanine converting enzyme has undergone mutation. It shows multiple effects. So phenylketonuria is also very important thing you have to remember, right? So we have completed that one, pleiotropy. Now let us go for polygenic inheritance. So if you see here, poly means many, okay, genic means genes. So how these many genes are showing inheritance? So generally one gene control one phenotypes, but sometimes many genes control single phenotype. We call that one as polygenes. So additive or cumulative effect of two or more genes is called as polygenic inheritance. Okay, characters controlled by polygenic inheritance are called as quantitative characters. Quantitative means additional, adding all those characters, right? So let us see examples of the polygenic inheritance. Examples for polygenic inheritance are skin color in humans, height in humans, and milk production in cattle are the best example for polygenic inheritance. Today we will see the skin color in humans. Skin color in humans is controlled by three genes, that is A, capital B, capital C. So the genes are having two alleles. Each gene contains two alleles. So the genotypes for a capital A, this is one allele, this is one allele. Capital B, one allele, one allele. Capital C, alleles. These are the alleles. So genotypes are ABC and ABC. So there are two types of genotypes. ABC is dominant genotype and ABC is a recessive genotype. Okay, let us see them now. So if you see the genotypes like this, the genotypes are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital C. If all the genotypes are dominant, then we'll get very dark skin pigmentation. That means there will be more melanin secretion. Then here, capital A only one small. So if I represent with red ink, that is better. Here, only one recessive character. Remaining are dominant characters. It is dark. Here two recessive. Remaining four are dominant, fairly dark. Here see, three recessive and three dominant. Then it will get intermediate color. Here two dominant, four recessive, fairly light. Here one dominant, remaining all are recessive will get light. Here all are recessive will get very light color. Okay, so man with intermediate phenotype and woman with intermediate phenotype were crossed like this: capital A small a, capital B small b, capital C small c. Here also capital A small a, capital B small b, capital C small c. So how the genotypes are formed? Genotype is this one. How many gametes are formed from this combination? In a trihybrid, we'll get 8 gametes. Remember this one. A, B, C, 1 gamete. A, B, small c, 1 gamete. Small a, capital B, capital C, 1 gamete. Small a, capital B, small c, 1 gamete. Small a, small b, capital C, 1 gamete. Small a, small b, small c, 1 gamete. So here also same situation. Then when we cross this 8, so if you see here, when we make the cross, we'll get this side 8 and this side 8. In a Punnett scale, we'll get 64. Okay, total we'll get 64. So what is the genotypic frequency? Means 1 is to 6 is to 15 is to 20 is to 15 is to 6 is to 1. So you have written here. So very dark. How many are very dark? We are getting 1, 2, 3, 4. So very dark will get only 1. Remember that. Very dark. Capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C. Very dark is only 1. Very light is also only 1. Then how many are dark? Dark, let us see. 1, 2, 3. So already I told you. So 1 is recessive, remaining 5 are dominant. So this is recessive here. 1 is recessive. This is recessive here. And this one is recessive here. So 1 is recessive allele and remaining 5 are dominant alleles. It is dark. Remember, these you will get questions like this. They'll give genotype and they'll ask you what is the phenotype. You have to identify that. Then fairly dark. Fairly dark means how many are recessive? 2. Here also 2. Here also 2. Here. Here. If 2 are recessive and 4 are dominant, the person will be fairly dark. Intermediate. 3 dominant and 3 recessive. You can see 3 dominant and 3 recessive. Dominant alleles are 3, recessive alleles are 3, then the person will be intermediate type. Right? We'll go for the next one. Fairly light. How many are recessive? 1, 4 recessive, 2 dominant. You can write all these things in your notebook when you are writing the notes. Right, here also 2 dominant, here also 2 dominant. Then it is fairly light. Light, only 1 is dominant. Only 1 is dominant. So how many are recessive? 5 recessive and 1 dominant allele. We call this one as light. Very light. Very light means all are recessive alleles. All are recessive alleles. Okay. So this completes about the topic what we call introduction part of the genetics. So from the next class onwards, I'll go for the human genetics, that is the sex determination in different types of animals. Okay, pedigree charts, genetic disorders, human genome project, and DNA fingerprinting. So that my part will be over. Okay, thank you very much, and copy the notes, ma. Don't neglect. You take the notes. Very important is that you have to remember all these things, whatever I taught, so that it will be very easy for you. So after completion of this topic, I'll conduct both theoretical part and objective part also. Okay, thank you very much.